Do you feel overwhelmed in your PhD? You feel like you're torn in several different directions. You don't know what to do first, you don't know what to do second, and you feel a sense of overwhelm, not being able to manage or control things. Then this video is for you. Hi, this is Atya here. Welcome to PhDpreneur, where we discuss PhD, mindset and personal finance. Today we are going to speak about a topic which is based on a query received by my subscriber. I may not know everything, but whatever I have learned in this process, I want to take a moment to share it with you. So what does overwhelm mean? Overwhelm means there are too many thoughts in your head, and as far as PhD is concerned, these thoughts could be related to the experiment, related to the supervisor, related to what is going on in personal life, and how to balance all that. There is a stream of thoughts which you are not able to control. You are panicking, you might have burnout, you can get anxious. We'll speak about all this. So this is the problem, that you are overwhelmed. This video will be very straightforward and it would be solution oriented. The first strategy is to go by the resources which are present already and not by the order of your objectives, and I will explain what that means. I see many of the students, one mistake, or I can say one little bit deviation that they need to do is, every PhD course has objectives. Okay, there is objective 1, objective 2, objective 3, objective 4, and if in some cases objective 5. They focus on completing objective 1 first, then 2, then 3, then 4. Going by that is fine if all the resources for all the objectives you get in that order, which in majority cases does not happen like that. Sometimes, say suppose it is wet lab work, then resources for objective 3 might be there as of now. Sometimes the instruments need to be repaired, so you cannot work on objective 1. Sometimes in case of dry lab work, you might not get access to a particular software at that time, say suppose for objective 1, and you may get the resources for objective 4 first. Instead of panicking and getting frustrated about that, because I also have been there. It took me a long time to change my strategy with respect to my working in the lab. So what I would suggest, one deviation that you can do is go by whatever is available right now, and if something is not available, then you can see if there are alternatives for it. These are some of the modifications that can be done, because I think sometimes we are so fixated at one thing that we forget what are the different resources which are available at that moment, which can be utilized, which may not be there as you go ahead. So these are some of the things that you can keep in mind. Having a long-term planning is required. For example, we generally resort to making to-do lists which are for that day, but somewhere there needs to be a document, digital or an offline, where you can see at a glance what all can be done. And I will insert a clip of the planner that I use. It is not necessary that you have to buy it. This can be created in Excel also. What is more important is to have a place where you can at a glance see several months and work around the objectives. I will show you how I go about this. Okay, so including a long-term planner will help. Then the third tip is more about the mental clutter. So it's necessary to have at least one day a week, or I call it a calibration day. Now, if you use pH meter or anything, you need to calibrate it. I think our mind also needs calibration so that it can be got to its optimum efficiency. If one day in a week is not possible, then maybe a few hours where you do nothing about your PhD and focusing just on present, focusing just on having maybe enjoying, or even if you do not enjoy it, just a period of silence, maybe a walk or something like that, where you do not think about your PhD, okay? Now I know it is easier said than done, but these things need effort, but the results are enormous. So I call these reset period, calibration days, or you call it whatever you want. A certain day where you take a stock of all that is happening. Try to be at peace and not to work around things. Excessive screen time has proven to increase anxiety levels, and this I have also noticed where there were days when my YouTube and Instagram consumption was very high. That time my anxiety levels also were equally high. So cutting down on social media exposure, because what it does is subconsciously it increases your comparison of your life to somebody else's, which may not be a good idea, because at the end of the day you are comparing your normal life to somebody else's highlight. Usually what is posted on social media are the trends or the highlights of that person. Usually the negative things are usually not posted with that creator as well as for anybody else. So being mindful of that helps. Avoiding such kind of exposure in the mornings also I feel is quite important. Or what I do is generally I keep such kind of social media exposure time limited to evenings, okay, because completely avoiding may not be a very feasible step at first when you are literally addicted to seeing your mobile first thing in the morning. So this can help work around this issue. I would like to share one of the incident that happened. Surrounding yourself with positive people is so important, and this is not a cliche, but it is such a practical thing, because I realized I was speaking to one of my colleague who used to be constantly negative, always panicking, and then somehow that kind of behavior started seeping in me also. This is something real that happened with me. So surrounding yourself with positive people, or if positive people are not there, at least avoiding people who are negative and who are always gossiping. Sometimes we feel that we can be positive irrespective of negative circumstances or the environment around us, but at the end of the day, whatever goes on near you, next to you, will always impact you. So that is one strategy that could help in staying positive. So these were some of the strategies that have worked for me, and I hope it works for you as well. If you are a PhD student or you have been a PhD student, then let me know in the comments what is one thing that worked for you in case of situations where you feel overwhelmed or angry or frustrated in general. I would love to know, and the rest of the readers will also benefit.